The silence before the storm. The council chamber of the Galactic Concordat fell silent as Admiral Vectrus of the Jurun Empire slammed his chitinous fist against the crystalline table. For 300 cycles, the galaxy had known peace under the carefully maintained balance of the 7 dominant species. Humanity, the newest addition to the community, had remained quiet in their corner of space for nearly 2 decades since first contact. "They are building something," Vectrus hissed, his compound eyes reflecting the holographic display hovering above the table. "Our scouts have detected massive energy signatures near their Jupiter station, construction on a scale we have never witnessed." Ambassador Lyria of the Pelphon Collective leaned forward, her translucent skin shimmering with concern. "Perhaps we should simply ask them. The humans have been cooperative, if peculiar, since joining the Concordat." A bitter laugh echoed from Commodore Thex, whose 4 arms crossed in obvious disdain. "Cooperative?" They smile and nod while hiding their true capabilities. "My intelligence officers report that human vessels routinely operate in ways that should be impossible. They break physics as we understand it." What the Council did not know was that Commander Sarah Chen stood in the observation deck of humanity's greatest secret, watching as the final hull plates were welded into place. The vessel stretched for kilometers in every direction, dwarfing anything humanity had ever constructed. This was the UESC Indomitable, Earth's first supercarrier, and it represented 15 years of hidden innovation. Sarah's reflection in the reinforced viewport showed a woman who had aged beyond her 40 years. Dark circles under her eyes spoke of countless sleepless nights spent coordinating the thousands of engineers, scientists, and construction workers who had sacrificed everything for this moment. Her silver-streaked hair was pulled back in a practical bun, and her uniform bore no decorations beyond her rank insignia. She preferred it that way. "Ma'am, final systems check is complete," reported Lieutenant Marcus Webb, his voice cutting through her thoughts. "Reactor cores are stable, AI integration is at 98%, and the manufacturing bays are operational." Sarah nodded without turning from the viewport. "And the neural interface?" Ready for synchronization. Though, I still think you should reconsider personally piloting during the maiden voyage." Now she turned, fixing the young lieutenant with a steady gaze. "Humanity didn't build the Indomitable to sit in dock, Lieutenant, and we didn't spend 15 years in secret because we were afraid." The truth was more complicated than Sarah let on. When humanity had first encountered the Galactic Concordat, they had been welcomed with what appeared to be open arms. But it quickly became clear that the galaxy operated on a strict hierarchy. The older species viewed newcomers as curiosities at best, potential threats at worst. Humans were given mining rights to a handful of asteroid belts and told to be grateful for the opportunity to trade with civilized worlds. But humanity was always stubborn. Where other species saw limits, humans saw challenges. Where the galaxy said impossible, humans heard not yet attempted. The Indomitable was proof of that spirit. Its fusion reactors could power a small planet. Its manufacturing bays could construct an entire fleet of support vessels from raw materials. Its AI systems could coordinate battle strategies across light years of space, and at its heart, a neural interface that allowed a human commander to become one with the vessel, experiencing the vessel as an extension of their own body. "Incoming transmission from Earth Command, Priority Alpha." Admiral James Kowalski's weathered face appeared on the main screen. Behind him, Sarah could see the flags of every nation on Earth, a reminder of what humanity had achieved by setting aside old divisions. "Commander Chen, the Concordat has requested an emergency session. They're demanding to know what we're building out here." The Admiral's expression remained neutral, but Sarah caught the hint of a smile at the corner of his mouth. "I believe it's time we showed them." Sarah felt her heart rate quicken. This was the moment they had prepared for, yet fear still crept up her spine. "Sir, with respect, we're not fully operational. We haven't even completed shakedown trials." "The trials begin now, Commander. Take the Indomitable to the Concordat home world. Show them that humanity is done asking for permission." The transmission ended, leaving Sarah staring at the blank screen. Around her, the bridge crew waited in silence, their faces showing a mixture of excitement and terror. They all knew what this meant. Once humanity revealed the Indomitable, there would be no going back. "All hands battle stations. Sarah ordered, her voice carrying through the massive vessel. Engineering, bring all reactors to full power. Navigation, plot a course for Concordat Prime. Communications, send a message to the Council. Humanity requested audience. As the Indomitable's engines ignited for the first time, bathing the Jupiter construction zone in brilliant blue light, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The galaxy was about to learn what humans had known since the first 8 picked up a bone and saw a tool. Necessity was not just the mother of invention, it was the forge of legends.
When Earth spoke, the galaxy listened. The Indomitable emerged from slipstream space like a leviathan rising from dark waters. Every sensor array on Concordat Prime screamed in alarm as the massive human vessel materialized within visual range of the station, its hull reflecting the light of 3 suns. The Supercarrier was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen, a marriage of brutal functionality and elegant design that spoke to humanity's dual nature. Sarah stood at the center of the neural command sphere, her consciousness expanding through fiber-optic threads that connected her mind to every system aboard the ship. She could feel the thrum of the reactors like her own heartbeat, sense the positioning of each of the 300 support craft in the launch bays, and perceive the electromagnetic spectrum as vividly as colors. This was what the other species could never understand about humanity, their willingness to blur the line between flesh and machine to become something greater than either. Concordat Defense Fleet is moving to intercept, reported Webb, his voice reaching Sarah through both her ears and directly into her consciousness via the neural link. 47 capital ships forming a blockade pattern. Through the ship's sensors, Sarah observed the Concordat vessels taking position. Each ship represented the pinnacle of its respective species' technology. The crystalline Pelthon dreadnoughts that could bend light itself into weapons. The Zaroon battle fortresses covered in ablative bioarmor. The Thexian swarm carriers that could deploy thousands of drone fighters. Together, they had maintained galactic order for centuries. "Open a channel," commanded Sarah, her words transmitted simultaneously through conventional communications and quantum-entangled broadcasts that reached across multiple dimensions. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the United Earth Space Command vessel Indomitable. We come in peace, but we will no longer be ignored." Inside the Concordat Council chamber, chaos erupted. The holographic display showed the human supercarrier in devastating detail, and the assembled leaders struggled to comprehend what they were seeing. "That vessel," Ambassador Lyria's voice trembled. "Its power output exceeds our largest stations. How did they hide this from us?" Admiral Vectrus's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among his people. "We underestimated them. We all did. We saw their primitive chemical rockets and assumed they would take centuries to catch up." He paused, studying the readouts. "But they did not catch up. They leapfrogged us entirely." Commodore Thex was already calculating tactical scenarios, his military mind racing through possibilities. If they built one vessel this advanced, they could have built more. This might be a distraction while their fleet surrounds us. "Or," said High Counselor Namara, the eldest member of the Concordat, whose species had founded the Alliance, "this is precisely what the human commander said, a statement. They are showing us that the time for patronizing the newcomers has ended." Back aboard the Indomitable, Sarah felt the weapons systems of the Concordat fleet powering up. Each targeting lock registered in her consciousness like pinpricks of heat against her skin. The neural interface translated threats into instinct, and she had to consciously suppress the urge to activate her own weapons grid. "Ma'am, we're being targeted by every ship in range," Webb reported, his training keeping his voice steady despite the tension. "Recommend defensive posture." "Negative. Shields to minimal power only. We're not here to fight." She took a slow breath, feeling the oxygen cycle through her lungs and simultaneously monitoring the atmospheric processors, maintaining air quality for her 5,000 crew members. "Activate the manufacturing bay." Deep within the Indomitable's core, massive fabrication systems roared to life. Raw materials stored in vast holds were fed into molecular assemblers that could reshape matter at the atomic level. The technology had been humanity's greatest breakthrough, achieved not through individual genius, but through the collective effort of millions of scientists sharing data across a unified global network. Within minutes, the first product emerged from the manufacturing bay, a perfect replica of a Pelthon medical frigate, a vessel type known throughout the galaxy for its humanitarian missions. But this version incorporated improvements, subtle enhancements to efficiency and capability that human engineers had identified. The newly constructed ship launched from the Indomitable and transmitted its specifications on open channels. Sarah spoke again, her words carrying across the void. "Concordat Council, humanity offers this gift. We have studied your technologies, not to copy them, but to improve them. This medical frigate has 40% greater range and can treat twice as many patients as the original design." Silence filled the communications channels. The Concordat leaders stared at their displays in disbelief. The humans had not only matched their manufacturing capabilities, but had enhanced their own designs and were offering the improvements freely. "This is impossible," whispered Ambassador Lyria. "Our medical frigates represent 200 years of refinement. They cannot simply make them better in 15 years. "They did not work alone," Namara observed, her ancient eyes gleaming with understanding. "Look at their vessel's architecture. It incorporates elements from every species we know, recombined in novel ways. They learned from all of us, then synthesized something new." Sarah continued her address, passion entering her voice. "For 20 years, humanity has watched and learned. We have seen the wonders of your civilizations and the kindness of your people, but we have also seen how you view us, as children to be guided, primitives to be protected from ourselves. Today we declare that humanity stands as equals. We bring not just weapons, but solutions, not just strength, but innovation." The manufacturing bay activated again. This time it produced a Zaroon agricultural processor, redesigned to yield 30% more food production. Then a Thexian power relay that could transmit energy across greater distances with minimal loss. Each gift was offered with complete schematics, no secrets held back. Aboard the Concordat station, the council members found themselves facing an unprecedented situation. Admiral Vectress, who, moments before, had been ready for war, now studied the improved designs with grudging admiration. "They are offering us their secrets. This is not the action of conquerors." Commodore Thex remained skeptical. "Or it is psychological warfare. They demonstrate their superiority while appearing generous." "Does it matter?" High Counselor Namara stood, her frail form somehow commanding the room's attention. "Humanity has shown us something we forgot, that advancement comes not from hoarding knowledge, but from sharing it. They learned from all of us and created something greater. Perhaps it is time we learned from them." Sarah felt the targeting locks release, one by one, as the Concordat fleet stood down. Through the neural interface, she experienced the collective relief of her crew, their elevated heart rates gradually returning to normal. They had gambled everything on this moment, and humanity had won not through force, but through demonstrating what they valued most: cooperation, innovation, and the relentless drive to make tomorrow better today. "Concordat Council to USEC Indomitable," came the transmission. High Counselor Namara's face appeared on every screen. "Commander Chen, humanity's request for an audience is granted. Welcome as true equals to the galactic community." As the Indomitable moved towards its docking position, Sarah disconnected from the neural interface, her consciousness slowly returning fully to her physical form. She looked around the bridge at her crew, seeing tears of joy on many faces, and allowed herself to feel the weight of what they had accomplished. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy through superior firepower, they had earned their place through superior vision. The understanding that true strength came not from standing above others, but from lifting everyone together. The Indomitable was not just a warship, it was a promise that wherever humanity traveled among the stars, they would bring with them the best of what it meant to be human: curiosity, creativity, and an unshakable belief that cooperation would always triumph over division. The galaxy had realized its mistake, but more importantly, it had been given a second chance. And humanity, ever optimistic, was ready to write the next chapter of galactic history.